Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode with
Of our film series.
I'm
I thought we said we were gonna change the intro.
worst intro ever, but let's move on.
Oh my gosh. This is our last episode that's going to be only me and Charlotte, which is crazy.
I know.
So, I think at least, unless like everyone cancels on us. which knowing our friends might happen, but
Yeah.
we're hoping for a no. Anyway, let's get to the point. As you may have seen in the title, today's genre is probably my least favorite. So,
And my favorite.
Charlotte.
So
Wait,
today,
I thought yours was. Wait, isn't your favorite action?
action was like my grade 7 to 8 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, yeah, let's just get to the point. We're doing horror today. So let me just unplug my headphones and just walk away before I am unable to sleep for a week. So yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm kind of clueless of how to do this episode because, like, I don't want to spoil too much and ruin all the fun and plots for you. But, like, I feel like if I don't talk, like, detailed or specifically, this episode would be like 5 minutes long. So I'll try my best. I'll try my best.
Not as many handsome, muscular male leads.
No more muscular, handsome male leads. Only psychopaths. Thank you.
Oh gosh. Okay, let's get started.
Right, so I'm thinking of starting with something classical. So I'm gonna start with Stephen King. I'm gonna recommend two horror movies here. The first one is The Shining, and the second one is It. Okay, so The Shining. I feel like everyone knows this movie. It's basically wait,
The
Brianna.
one I watched.
Ooh!
Oh my god.
What did you think?
Didn't I give this review in like our first episode? I should totally click link in bio. And it's in opinions, reviews, and roasts on TV shows. I think I mentioned it briefly there, but basically, yeah, a group of people forced me to watch it. Not just any people, my friends, obviously. I don't think we're friends anymore after that. I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's point is that's the only one I've watched, and it was a little creepy. Not just a little. I feel like, well, you see, I don't watch enough to say this exactly, but I feel like it's just so typical. And I think we've both talked about how the book is better.
Yeah,
right?
the book is so much better.
It was just pretty generic of a horror movie. Like, I don't see any extra elements that, like, if you tell me about a horror movie, this is just what I would expect it to be, you know? And obviously what stood out to me the most was music. And without the music, I would definitely not be as scared. But yeah, I don't know. After watching it, I just felt really like tingly about all my surroundings. It's just like, oh, will there be just like two twins dressed up as dolls in my hallway, you know? But yeah, that's pretty much it. What about you?
I actually feel like The Shining is kind of like different from other horror movies. Because, like, when you talk about horror movies, you would kind of like think of zombies and then blood gushing everywhere
Well,
and then human flesh. But The Shining is more of like a
like kind of mental.
psychological horror movie. Yeah, it's experimental.
Right.
And I know like it's definitely like one of the like pop culture classics is like every film or every TV show that I like actually like quotes and pays its homage and respects. And I feel like it's just pretty iconic, at least at that time.
Yeah, most of my friends who've only watched like one horror movie all say it's The Shining, so it's pretty significant, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like I said, I haven't watched enough to make the comparison that it's generic or not. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why, yeah. But definitely,
Okay.
it's very mental.
Mm-hmm.
It got inside me.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. And the next one, oh, I feel like we forgot to like talk about what The Shining is about.
True.
So I'm just gonna so I'm just gonna
Oh my
like
gosh.
quickly summarize it. So basically there's this guy called Jack and his family's like kind of poor and so he finds a job as a caretaker in like a hotel. And then the hotel is haunted and then this creepy stuff just appeared and then Jack went crazy and then blah blah blah. And then that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Concise.
Very mental. If you have a lot of
Mm-hmm.
brain power, you should definitely watch it.
Mm-hmm.
It'll drain it out.
And also, like a small tip when you're watching like horror movies is that don't watch it alone at midnight.
Oh my gosh.
Watch it at noon because like that's where
Charlotte
like
learned that the hard way.
yeah, yeah. I learned that the hard way. So like, but of course, if you want to watch it at midnight and like feel like this haunted house vibe and be scared, you do you.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on to it. So this is also like an iconic movie because I feel like everyone saw like the meme where a clown just
Right.
like stares from a sewage and be like, "Oh, do you want a balloon or something?" Okay, so again, this is also how do you say it? It's also a psychological horror movie, but with more like flesh, human flesh and blood and
Like
stuff.
horror elements,
Yeah.
visual elements. Yeah.
And I'm scared of clowns, so it
I
scarred
don't really
me.
get why people are scared of clowns. I mean, I think it's just the piercing stare part. Like, if I woke up and anybody was staring at me like that, I would freak out nonetheless. Like, it's not really the costume that freaks me out, it's just the stare.
No, but like when you see a clown and then it has this full makeup, that's creepy. And he dances and makes weird noises and comes up to you and then it just freaks me out. Yeah. Anyways, this is basically about a kid named I forgot his name, but once upon a time he made his like younger brother Georgie like a sailboat, and then Georgie decided to sail it, and then the boat got lost, and he ran after it, and then that's where the meme came from. Like under a sewage, he saw a clown, and the clown was like, "Oh hey, do you want like a balloon?" And then Georgie was fooled, so like the clown like climbed out, ripped off Georgie's arm and then dragged him into the sewage. And then that's basically where it happened. And then like Georgie's brother felt so guilty and that he believed like Georgie was still alive. So he and his whole squad goes on this mission to save Georgie and find Georgie and that's it. Wow, now that I describe the plot, it feels like a superhero movie.
Oh my gosh. So, I heard some stuff about it too. Did you
Mm-hmm.
watch that? Do you know anything about it?
No, no.
Oh.
Wait, there's an it too?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I heard some weird stuff about it, so I was wondering if you knew anything.
Oh, no, I haven't watched it too though. Let's see.
Mm.
I'll do a quick search.
Okay.
It
Little
look
fast forward.
it looks interesting though.
Let's see.
Maybe I'll watch it and then I could give you guys like this review and stuff.
Yeah, it's chapter 2. Yeah.
Hmm. It looks interesting. Yeah, I'll check it
Sure.
out.
Sure. Okay. we're stalling so much. Okay, what's next?
Okay. The next one, I'm moving fast forward, like away from Stephen King. I'm doing like another like very classical series. It's called The Silence of the Lambs.
Oh my
So
god. That's
Okay,
pretty iconic too, I think.
this gave me creeps. This is creepy. So basically, it's about this FBI student as top student at the FBI um academy, and then she's interviewing like a doctor named Hannibal. Hannibal is a violent psychopath, but he's also like this very elegant, sophisticated professor and stuff, you know. Like under the skin of a professor there lies a psychopath. Anyway, and then like Professor Hannibal, no, Dr. Hannibal was charged with multiple like murders and cannibalism, and it's just very creepy, very, very psychopathic, toxic relationship, blah, blah, blah. And then Claire just falls in love. She's wooed by him, and it just gives me creeps because, like, girl,
You can do better.
yeah, you could do so much better. Like, why must it be him? Okay. Again, this is like psychological horror movie, so there's not a lot of jump scares. Well, there are bloods because it's cannibalism, but there's not much jump scares, and that's why I kind of like it. And I feel like I'm just running out of stuff to say. So
Okay, let's talk about jump scares real quick. So I feel like sometimes in other genres of movies, you kind of get like dramatic irony point of view, you know? So, oh, look at me, back to English class. Oh, teacher must be so proud right now. Oh, if our teacher's even watching this, which I doubt she is. But anyway, but in horror movies, it's kind of like it's like you have different perspectives, like in the movie, but you're still in the movie, which makes no sense now that I'm saying it out loud. But like you kind of get what I mean, right? So you have it, but you're still influenced by like whatever the characters are influenced by. So it's just pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, for example, if you know, sorry.
No, you could go first.
Okay. our podcast is just interrupt. For example, if you know someone's gonna get jump scared, but then they jump scare you anyway, and you know you're gonna get jump scared, but you're still scared, you know? Yeah, not appreciated. Like, I would like to be able to sleep, but anyway, I'm probably just a little weak there. What were you saying?
I kind of think like jump scare is lame. Like it's the lamest way to make people feel scared. It's the cheapest way, actually. And I feel like you don't really need to think about jump scares. Like you don't actually need to put in that much thought, like compared to like soundtracks, acting, scripts, plot, etc.
Right.
So like I just kind of dislike jump scares, and I wouldn't voluntarily watch any movie that contains like a lot of jump scares because it's just cheap.
It's like try harder, like
Yeah, try harder. You're not impressing me.
She's hard to get. Okay, what's your next movie?
Okay, so the next movie is actually the sequel of The Silence of the Lamb. It's called Hannibal. So basically, Dr. Hannibal escaped out of prison and ran all the way to Italy.
Of all places, man. Of all places.
And then like his former victim wants a revenge. And then he found out like the only way to lure Hannibal out is to find the like FBI students. So again, we have the star-crossed lovers except in Italy.
I don't know why I find that so funny.
Yep, they're out of prison.
Oh. But yeah, give me one pro and one con about this sequel.
Okay. I feel like there's nothing bad about the sequel. I mean, Hannibal, like The Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal, Red Dragon, like this series is just classic. It's
So
classic.
it's a 10 out of 10 from this podcast. Go
Mm-hmm.
watch.
Yeah.
I think it's
And
a fan favorite.
yeah, and I feel like the pro of Hannibal is that someone like Dr. Hannibal like could be beside you because in the first movie he was like elegant university professor, and in the second one he's like this museum curator. So like anyone around you could be a psychopath, and that's what freaks me out the most, and that's probably the best thing about this movie.
Charlotte.
Oh,
Oop.
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 Now you know who I truly am.
Oh my.
I might have to destroy humanity.
Not me. Leave me alive. Anyway, so,
Yeah. well, enough about Hannibal because I feel like I'm getting a bit high and too carried away. So, moving on. The next movie is probably the first horror movie I've watched. So, it's not that scary. It's called Orphan. So, basically, a couple decided to like adopt a girl, and in an orphanage they found this girl like 11 years old who's good at dancing, reading, drawing, writing, like you name it, she's perfect. And then they brought her home, and then weird stuff started to happen, and then I feel like if I keep on talking it would be a spoiler, but
Okay, so here's a spoiler alert.
spoiler
If you would
alert.
like to watch it for yourself, please skip.
Mhm.
And the time you can skip to will be in the captions.
Mhm.
So here we go.
So basically, after they adopt this girl, they find out she's actually 30 years old.
Oh!
She's trapped in a little girl's body because of some kind of genetic like diseases or something, but she's like 30 years old, psychopathic, and she loves seducing her adopted father and then killing him. That's what happened to her previous families. And then, anyways, people found out, they start fighting, the girl dies. The end.
Oh.
Okay. Again, what creeps me out the most is that this is actually based on a real story. So, I don't know. Adopt a baby.
Okay, we're stalling so much here. What is the next? Yeah, that was your first movie.
That was my first.
Do you think The Shining was a good idea to start off with? Anyway, what's your next? Oh, by the way, let's talk about Coraline. So I know it's not really like a horror movie. It's a lot of people's comfort movie. But like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah, have you watched it?
No.
Oh.
Have you?
See, I was a little girl. We're going back to the wee times. And little Bree just decided like, we're gonna call this a horror movie. Like if I watched it today, I obviously like wouldn't be as impacted. But like, yikes. How old was I? Like, when did it even come out? I don't even remember. But like, anyway, I don't really want to talk about the plot. Yeah, basically, I actually barely remember what happened. Lots of doll stuff. You know, that creepy doll stuff. But, yeah. I don't think I would classify it as horror anymore. Probably just a children's movie. And I feel like it's like when you have a genre and there's like a kid's version of that genre. Yeah, this one would be it for horror.
Wow.
Yeah. Actually, it was kind of sad, to be honest. Like, it kind of makes you cry. I think I cried. I think. I literally don't remember, okay? I have a memory, like, that's worse than a goldfish. Anyway, back to your list.
Okay, so I'm moving on to the butterfly effect. So this is not a classic, or like not how you would generally describe a horror movie. It's more like creepy. So it's about, there's a boy called Evan, and then when he's unconscious, he's able to travel back in time and then like alter his decisions and the past. But the problem with like altering like the past is that you change the future, which is his present. And then his future just got worse and worse and worse and worse. And at one point it got super dark and creepy. And then again, I'm gonna like jump to like the place where I find like the most uncomfortable.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Charlotte.
Again, it's a spoiler alert. So if you like want to skip, like we'll put the timestamps in the description. So basically, after like he multiple time skips and time travels, he discovered like no matter how he changes the past, the future will always be worse. So anyway, he travels back into the time when he was still unborn and in his mother's uterus, and then strangles himself.
Oh.
Baby suicide. Not triggered at all.
Awkward laughing.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
Alright.
sorry. Moving on to my last movie I'm gonna talk about. I feel like I've caused you guys like enough trauma, so I'm just gonna like wrap it up real quick.
Mostly me. Just Brie. Traumatizing Brie. That's
I'm
gonna be
sorry.
the title.
I'm sorry. Oh, that's a nice.
Right? Alright.
So I feel like I'm traumatizing you guys enough. I'm just gonna wrap it up real fast and just briefly skip through my last movie on the list, which is The Devil's Advocate. So this movie is starred by Keanu Reeves, and I'm just gonna set the part where he's tall, handsome, and muscular and good looking, and yeah. So
This episode is just seriously traumatizing me. Guys, I'm a loyal person. Stay true. Stay true to my point, my purpose. My purpose is alrighty. Continue.
So anyways, it's this Florida defense lawyer, Kevin, and he accepts like a high-powered position at a law firm in New York. So basically he moves up. Oh, by the way, like the law firm's head is Al Pacino. Al Pacino supremacy.
Looks like our subscribers will have some more names to comment this week. Last week.
Al Pacino.
Not last week, like a couple weeks ago. At that episode of like commenting all over. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, so like the lawyer Kevin had several like frightening mystical experience, and then he kind of got confused between reality and stuff because he was like too washed away or too high, or I don't know like the correct like adjective, but he moved up the ranks too fast, and then there's just a lot of money and fame and different stakes, and basically that's it.
So what's the creepy part of this?
Wow, another spoiler. So okay.
Skip to the timestamp in the captions.
Okay, so I'll start now. So I remember he had this trial where he's defending a molester. And then the molesters just basically claimed This is before. This was still when Kevin was a nice guy. Like Kevin was still a guy who went for
Oh.
justice, inspired, like for making the world a better place. So, anyways, the molester basically just claimed, "Oh, I didn't molest her. Like, it's her own fault. She's lying. Blah blah blah." And then there was like this shot where like the molester is using his hands to like imitate the curves of a female body, and while looking
Oh.
disgusting and creepy and oily and greasy, and it just like I felt nauseous.
Yeah, that's.
Mm,
Ugh.
yeah.
All right, well, that's enough traumatizing me for a day, I think.
Thank you.
Even though this was like a relatively short episode, but I think that's for the better. Definitely. Thank you so much for listening once again. We hope you are enjoying this film series. The full playlist will be found in our description or on our channel homepage. Yeah, that's our first woo of the day, I think. We do that every episode. But yeah, Charlotte can finish for me while I try to bandage my brain.
Thank you so much for sticking with us to the end, and we'll see you next Saturday at 6 p.m. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.